Well, it's one step forward, two steps back for Newcastle United as they are thumped at the Community Stadium by 4-2 by Brentford. Questions seriously need to be asked about what exactly happened in that second half tonight, because the game starts. It's not a bad lineup, to be honest. Yes, Tonali is taken out, Gordon is taken out, but Eddie Howe alluded to that in his press conference, that they were struggling after Liverpool and they kind of weren't ready to start the game. So everybody instantly was hammering at the manager, saying, oh, this, that, and the other. However, we started the game very well. We were on the front foot. Sean Longstaff hits a cracking shot off the crossbar. But again, it's switching off at vital moments in the game, which we continue to do, and we are punished for it. You know, the first goal for Brentford, you know, we were punished. And then, you know, Mbeumo cuts across. Dan Burn backs off for some reason. Cher then comes across and he puts it in the top corner. The second goal we concede, I mean, Jesus Christ. That was laughable. But we'd equalised before then. Lovely move down the right-hand side. Jacob Murphy takes a look up. He sees Isak just on the penalty spot. And it's a beautiful cross. Isak's header is perfect. And it's 1-1. And I really thought at that time that we were going to kick on then. And kick on and absolutely destroy Brentford. Because every time we came forward, we looked like we were going to score. However, at the other end, it was a bit of the same. You know, we looked a bit rocky, a little bit imbalanced at the back. You know, Cher and Burn, a little bit all over the place. And then we go and concede a shocking second goal. Harvey Barnes, I'm not sure where the hell he was trying to put that pass, but he passes it straight to Visa. Visa then comes in on goal, curls a beautiful goal into the corner. And Brentford are 2-1 up. And if I'm manager of that football side, I am banging my head against the wall. I really am. I'm just completely banging my head thinking, well, I can't do anything about such slack play by my players. You know, Barnes was put in today to do a job and then he makes a mistake like that. However, what I will say is credit to Harvey Barnes, because that seemed to give him a rocket up his arse, because a couple of minutes later, we go down the other end. Barnes gets the ball after great work from Jacob Murphy again and spins and blasts it in the corner. And then it's 2-2 going into the second half. And the second half starts similar the way to the first half was. End-to-end stuff. But again, you felt that Newcastle United going forward looked like we could score every time. However, Brentford get a free kick midway in their own half. Flecken comes out, the goalkeeper takes it. And it is just incredibly poor defending. The ball is allowed to bounce, it's allowed to float over the top, and it's put in the back of the net. Our defending is shambolic and once again completely let us down. And this is the reoccurring thing that we keep saying and keep talking about. Now, Eddie Howe, I'm sorry, but some of the substitutions again today were just weird. Because he takes Jacob Murphy off, who was one of our better players in the first half. He takes him off and then puts Gordon to the left and puts Harvey Barnes on the right, who becomes pretty much irrelevant. And then 10 minutes later, you know, he brings Miggy on in that position. Why take Jacob Murphy off? Because, you know, he looked very dangerous in that first half. A little bit quiet to start the second, but he wasn't getting any of the ball. And that's why he was becoming a little bit quiet, because he wasn't getting the ball like he was in the first half. And just weird substitutions. And then, obviously, Lewis Hall coming off as well. I mean, I know there was only, less than 10 minutes left in the game. But he was making some great overlaps with Gordon. And there wasn't anything there when, obviously, Livramento went to left back. And I have to say, whatever happened when Brentford scored, our heads just dropped completely. Completely dropped. And you just cannot have that happening. And then Nick Pope near the end. I mean, what the hell was that with Mbeumo? And Dan Burn gets back to clear it off the line. However, our defenders, our centre-backs are simply not good enough. Fabian Cher has not been good enough throughout this season. It's as simple as that. You know, Dan Burn does a job. He does a job to the very best of his ability. But for me, that still isn't good enough. You know, we are crying out for Botman back. Absolutely crying out for Sven Botman back. And somebody alongside him. And a lot of people after the Liverpool game were saying, well, maybe we don't need a centre-back, which was understandable. But when you look at the performance like that, you think, Christ almighty, we do. We really, really do. And listen, there is a big elephant in the room here, and that is, why are we not doing it against the outside of the top 6 clubs? I cannot get my head around it. I don't understand what is going on at my football club when it comes to this. Because, listen, we talk and say various times that, we can't beat the lesser teams in the Premier League. We're fucking one of them right now. We're 13th in the bastard league. And this is a team who doesn't have European football and who was expected to challenge for a European place this season. The way we're going, that's out the fucking door, guys. It's gone. It's out the door. Forget about it. Unless things change and change drastically quickly. There's so many people now wanting the manager sacked. And I can understand it. I'm not going to have a go at anybody who wants Eddie Howe sacked. Because I can understand it 100%. Because for me, this guy is not learning from the mistakes that he makes against other lower teams in the Premier League. He keeps doing it. He keeps panicking. When things don't go our way, he panics. He doesn't think logically, and he panics, and he throws players on in any position, moves it around so it's square pegs in round holes, and we look terrible when that happens. Between, I think, the 50th minute when Brighton scored their third goal and round about 70, 75, Brentford should have scored another 3 for me because we were absolutely dreadful. Dreadful. It's as bad as it gets, guys. And again, the substitutions that didn't make sense. Murphy should have still been on the pitch. He was dangerous in the first half, and he could do that in the second if you gave him the ball. But for some reason, we just went to sham. To an absolute sham. And yes, the players have to be accountable as well because they put their heads down after Brentford's third goal. You could see it. You could see it that they didn't really have the fight in them anymore to come back again. And that was disappointing. And I'm not blamed on tiredness or anything because Brentford had a tough game at Villa Park earlier in the week as well. So they played the same night as us. So I am not saying tiredness at all. I think in a way Eddie Howe was actually right to do what he did with the starting lineup. I didn't have a problem with it because we've got some massive games in December. It's a very, very busy period of time for Newcastle and he's going to have to rotate at some point. Joe Linton, for me, doesn't look fully fit. I think he's got a real shoulder problem. I didn't think he played too badly today, to be honest, before he came off. But I do think he's struggling with his shoulder. But Christ almighty, something needs to happen and something needs to happen quickly. I don't know what the answer is, guys. I really don't know what the answer is. I mean, everybody's going to shout at me saying, Eddie Howe needs sacking. I mean, look, there's many different options to sacking the manager. You have to look at the players as well. As to why the heads dropped after Brentford's third goal. As to why suddenly we couldn't string a pass together. They just weren't in the fight between that 50th minute and 75th. We pushed at the end, granted. But that's always going to happen when you're a goal in front and you're just Brentford trying to hang on. Of course, they went and got another fourth goal when it was really stretched in the game. But apart from that, I mean, the first half, I thought we played really well. Really well. And we should have been out of sight in that first half. You look at Longstaff hitting the bar. Isak going round the goalkeeper and then for some reason doesn't stick it in the back of the net. He hangs onto it a little bit too long. There's 2 goals we could have had. And the Brentford goals were avoidable. If Barnes had played that ball forward, Visser doesn't get the ball and score their second. It's hopeless at the minute. It really is. Because you think, brilliant performance against Liverpool. You think, right, the lads are up, they're motivated again. But then we play Brentford, and it's back to square fucking one again. And I don't have an answer. It's just annoying. It really is annoying. And like I say, a lot of yous will be Eddie Howe out, undoubtedly. And I don't blame yous. Everybody's got their opinion on the manager. I still hope he turns it around. But I will say that, he's walking a very, very thin line now. He is walking a very thin line because we are supposed to be up with the big boys and be one of the big boys. We are a million miles away from that. Because the big boys turn up against the lower teams in the Premier League. They perform. We can't. We can't scratch our asses when it comes to playing the lower teams. We go to pot, the manager panics with his changes, we play square pegs in round holes, and we end up all over the place and losing games and dropping points left, right and centre. These points are vital for European football because we could look back on the end of the season and think, right, had we performed in them games like we know we can, then we'd be in that position. But we are such a long way away from that right now. And we are regressing. You know, it's supposed to be progress each season, but we are massively regressing this season. And transfer window or not, you know, we should be better than we are with the players that we have. Maybe we're overrating some of them. Maybe we are. Maybe we're not that good enough. I don't know. But the league table doesn't lie, guys, and we're 13th in the table. And that is the big issue, because we're dropping points where we really shouldn't be if we want to be up where we want to be. And dropping points is not going to work. It's an absolute shambles that today. After such a good first half, such positivity, scoring some good goals, we switch off at the real wrong times. And it costs us so many times every game. So, listen, make of that what you will. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm sure there's going to be, fans of Eddie Howe, saying he'll turn it around. There's going to be a lot of fans saying they've had enough now. This manager can't take us forward anymore. He's hit his limit. Thank you so much for what you've done, Eddie. But enough's enough. Football is in the future. We can't look in the past. Eddie Howe's done a remarkable job since he's become Newcastle manager. And like I say, I still want him to stay. I want him to turn this around. But I'm not stupid. I do know that he's walking a thin line now. A very thin line. And that thread may be cut at any time by PIF. But something has got to change. Something has really got to change. But as I say, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And do join us tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on this channel for the match review. It's going to be a very spicy one again. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions in the chat. So join us then live at 7 o'clock. Don't forget, over on our sister channel, TTR Xtra, we have commentary of Tottenham against Chelsea. Billy will be doing the commentary on that. And that starts at 4:15 with a 4:30 kickoff. But thanks very much for watching, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you back live tomorrow night for the review at 7 o'clock. Take care, folks.